Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about relationships, and I'm going to kind of go into a little bit of my testimony first. But basically, when I was in middle school, I was just totally obsessed with the idea of having a boyfriend. And I was just like, I have to find that right guy to fulfill me and make me feel good about myself and to tell me he loves me and all of these things that I thought a guy would fulfill. And so I looked for the one, basically, and I thought, that sounds so silly, you know, I'm searching for the one. But I think a lot of us, we don't say it that way, but a lot of us do kind of go into that mode of searching for bae or searching for the right person. So basically, like, my life was totally driven by, like, what a guy would want, or, like, I would do things that I would, like, hopefully, like, guys would notice, or, you know, silly things like us girls do or whatever. And basically, like, my fulfillment and all my hopes and, like, all my dreams and everything, all my emotions were put into a guy. And so any guy that would, you know, say sweet things to me, those would be such a big deal, because I would just, like, feel so good about myself, and a guy, like, complimented me or anything like that. And so basically, like, I put my identity in a guy and in a relationship. And it really just, it drove me down, honestly. It made me to the point where I was so, like, just empty almost, just because when you put your hopes and your dreams in someone, and especially a person, I think a lot of us don't understand that we're all sinners and we're all going to fail each other. We're not going to be perfect. And so that's one big thing that I think I learned the hard way. I mean, I really did learn it the hard way, just after guy after guy after guy, learning that this is not giving me true fulfillment in the way that I want to be fulfilled. Okay, so the reason why I told you just some of the stuff I went through and just putting my fulfillment in the wrong place, I want to go into the mindset of kind of how I view relationships now, and talk about, first off, how society tells us to find the one, and that our fulfillment, you know, just everything, like, life will be great if we find that perfect person, you know. And so I'm going to give you my perspective on that statement, that, you know, a person and the one will fulfill you, because it won't. And so some of the things that I just thought about as I was like writing about this, preparing for this, was that I think a lot of us get just into the pattern of easily giving ourselves away, and just, like, over and over, just giving a little bit of our heart away to people. And I think when we look for the right person, it puts a lot of pressure on not only, like, us, but it puts a lot of pressure on the other person, you know, to be perfect, because when we can't, none of us can be perfect. And so there's always got to be, you know, that mentality of, you know, we're all sinners, and, you know, God is the only one who lived a perfect, sinless life. And so when I think about this subject, it really just gives me just a passion to tell, like, young girls and guys, if you're watching this video, that we, all of us, should be more focused on preparing ourselves and preparing ourselves spiritually for the one that God has prepared for us, instead of us trying to search for and look for that right guy, because that perfect person does not exist, really. You know, God has someone picked out for you in the future, but you should be so much more focused on preparing yourself now before you meet that person. I mean, I don't know if you've, you know, met that person yet, or maybe you know it, but you don't know that's going to be the person God's going to pair you with in the future. But, you know, it's not about finding the one, it's about preparing yourselves. You know, God has this big plan for each and every one of our lives. And, you know, for me, I want to see that plan unfold. And the only way that I can do that is by being obedient to what God says and the things that He tells me to do. And so by listening to what He says and, like, you know, digging into God's Word, that prepares me for the man that God has for me in the future. I don't know when that time's going to come or anything like that, but I know that right now I can't focus on searching for that right person, because honestly, I think a lot of us, when we look for that right person, you know, we literally go searching for him. It makes us just kind of end up in, like, we're just digging a hole, and it just gets deeper and deeper, because God did not ask for us to, you know, go search for the one I have for you. You know, God just says, you know, seek and you will find, and He means we need to go seek God instead of seeking our fulfillment and seeking the things that we want in life. Because our priority and like what comes first is us seeking God and His will instead of our will. Because when we do that, like, God can reveal all the things He wants to reveal to us. And, you know, I don't want to miss out on that, and I don't think you do either. And so I really just want to encourage you guys, especially, you know, if you're maybe like talking to someone or maybe you're dating someone, ask yourself, are you dating that person to, you know, are you dating that person for marriage, or are you dating that person for yourself? Because God created us, you know, God created us and God created marriage, you know, to glorify Him. And so if you're trying to glorify yourself in this the relationship that you might be in, or that you may be in the future, you know, maybe you want to rethink that relationship. You know, there's a lot of relationships that I've had to take a step back from just because I don't know if it's God's will or not, and I don't know if, you know, maybe I'm putting, you know, my fulfillment in this person. And it's really, really dangerous when you do that, because you replace that person with God. Like I said, you know, you put your identity in them. And so, you know, don't look for comfort and fulfillment in a person, because seriously, like, only God can give you that. God made us that way. God made us so that He's the only thing that can fulfill us. Which is awesome to me, just to think that I don't have to worry about finding someone to make me feel good or make me feel fulfilled, because God is the only one that can do that. And for me, like, it's super awesome to know that my future isn't in my hands. You know, God has it all under control. And so, seriously, I really want to encourage you guys to you know, maybe rethink that relationship, or maybe for you, it's not that you're single and that you're not in a relationship, but that you need to spiritually prepare yourself for the person that God has for you in the future. I know that that's something that I've got to continue to do. Going into college, you know, I'm going to meet new people, but I can't be focused on, okay, you know, that guy's kind of cute, and, like, you know, maybe that might work out in the future. That's not the mindset I should have. The mindset that I should have is, I have to glorify Christ no matter what I do, because every little thing that I go through, I'm doing that to glorify God. And so I'm glorifying God by spiritually preparing myself for that person that God has for me in the future. So there's going to be some notes below this and below the video. So just maybe give you some highlights of this video. And thanks for watching, and follow my blog at stayunashamed.wordpress.com. Thanks, guys.